Good morning, students. I am Manikant Mishra, Modern English School, New Area. So, hope your exam gets over and really would have very wonderful. Now, again, we'll start our e-learning process. So, we have talked about a lot the matter. First of all, let me tell you that today we are going to start atoms and molecules. So, we have talked about a lot about the matter. Like Dalton's atomic theory. Before it, some philosophical view of matter. So once again, little bit we'll start the philosophical view of matter. So as we all are aware that everything is made up of matter. So this world is called material world. Now everything is made up of matter, then what is made up of matter? So a renowned Indian says, Maharshi Kanad, he said, when the matter is divided further, keep on dividing, a stage comes, we come across a stage where no further division is possible. That stage where no further division is possible, that stage that Maharshi Kanad said, Pramanu. Again, some other Indian philosopher said this stage which further division is not possible, what he called is as Pramanu. But later on, first of all, he himself corrected, Maharshi Kanad, he himself corrected, no, again further division is possible, and the stage which cannot be divided further he called as Anu, and this was also supported by some other Indian philosopher, and also said by some other philosopher, this smallest particle cannot exist, normally do not exist independently, rather it combined and then it existed independently. These Anu, these smallest particle normally do not exist independently. Normally they combine and then it exists. This was also supported by the Greek philosopher Democritus. He also said that a stage of a matter where no further division is possible, that he named it as atom. Atom is a Greek word which means indivisible, which means uncut. It means no further division is possible. So according to Greek philosopher Democritus, atom is the smallest ultimate particle of the matter. So this was only supported by unscientific philosophical consideration was, but at the end of 17th century or beginning of the 18th century, all this fact was taken into account in a scientific temperament. So this fact, when it was taken into a scientific concept, then these atoms, when it combine and forms a molecule and compound, they started to differentiate between these atoms, molecules and the compound in the context of science. Now how these atoms combine and forms a molecule? Why these atoms combine and forms a molecule? So is there any discipline among these atoms? So a quantitative relation, the scientist tries to find out a quantitative relation between them, and this quantitative relation is nothing but it is called laws of chemical combination. This quantitative relation, what is quantitative? Means if one particular element combined with another particular element, is there any quantitative relation and forms a product? As for example, like a carbon, one atom of carbon combined with two atoms of oxygen forms one molecule of carbon dioxide. So one atom of carbon combined with two atoms of oxygen. So this is a quantitative relation, and this was established in the form of laws of chemical combination. So there are 5 laws of chemical combination, but at this level in your class we will discuss 2 laws of chemical combination. The very first is law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. Now what is the law of conservation of mass? During any physical or chemical change, mass remains constant. During any physical or chemical change, mass remains constant. This is called law of conservation of mass. It also can be stated, neither matter can be created nor it can be destroyed. This is called law of conservation of mass. Let us deal with one example. So just now we have talked about the law of conservation of mass. During any physical or chemical change, mass remains constant. So here we have taken one example, like if 6.3 gram of NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate, are added to 15 gram of acetic acid CH3COOH solution, then residue is found to weigh 18 gram. What is the mass of CO2 released in the reaction? Now, first of all, let it write in the form of chemical equation. NaHCO3 plus CH3COOH gives residue plus CO2. Now we have 6.3 gram of NaHCO3. So I have written 6.3 gram. Now 15 gram CH3COOH, 15 gram residue. Residue is found to weigh 18 gram. And there is a need to find out what is the mass of CO2 released. Now, as you have already studied in class 7, the substance which take part in a chemical reaction is called reactant, and the substance which formed during the chemical reaction is called product. Now, sum of the mass of the reactant. What is the total mass of the reactant? 6.3 plus 15. 6.3 plus 15, which is equal to 21.3. Sum of the mass of the product. Now there is a need to find out mass of CO2. Let the mass of CO2 be x gram. So total mass of the product is 18 plus x. Now according to law of conservation of mass, it can be written as total mass of the reactant is equal to total mass of the product. So according to law of conservation of mass, total mass of reactant is equal to the total mass of the product. Total mass of reactant is equal to total mass of the product. We have the total mass of reactant 21.3 equals to total mass of the product. We have 18 plus x. Now send 18 to this left side, then x is equal to 3.3 gram. So mass of evolved carbon dioxide is equal to 3.3 gram. My dear student, hopefully you understood. If you have any doubt, please first of all you watch this video and let me know during the online time. It is my humble request to you all. Thank you. Have a nice day.